Hi, I'm Ilse Helbrecht. I'm a geographer. I'm working at Humboldt University of Berlin, and I work on issues like gentrification, housing, and the cultural geographies of globalization. First, I must say, empirically, being here in Southern California and Los Angeles in this context is so different from Berlin, from Germany. I mean, the way the city is spread out, the grade of globalization, the number of undocumented people here. So it's just such a different, completely different local setup. So completely different kinds of anxieties and attitudes toward globalization occur. And secondly, I must say it's really inspiring on a theoretical, conceptual level. Because Los Angeles seems to me here racial issues are so much more at the forefront. And for example, now I'm starting to read up on racial capitalism and trying to understand how racism and capitalism in times of globalization are really intermingled. And that's a conceptual inspiration I take from being here. What is really interesting to me about the social geography of Los Angeles and Pacific Palisades, the neighborhood where the Thomas Mann House is located in, is the people here really seem to be unequal together. What do I mean by that? I mean, social polarization is the biggest issue in the United States right now. And Los Angeles is a highly polarized city. The super poor and the super rich live in this city. Conventional social geography usually looks at the spaces either of the super rich, of elite neighborhoods, or of marginalized groups in the ghetto, for example. But the Pacific Palisades here is a perfect example how actually these two different groups so much during the day share the same space. Because if you are here in the Pacific Palisades in daytime, yes, the residential are white Caucasian millionaires. But much more people that are here are the Latino population who are maintaining the huge lots, the gardeners, the housekeepers, the dog walkers. So these groups actually share the same space, and this being unequal together and the relations between the groups is something I take with me from my social geography back home. Well, we are observing globally in the North the rise of right-wing populist movements, right? And often these new movements in the public discourse, they are being legitimized through anxieties that are supposedly being stirred by globalization. And we want to understand in this project fully what really is it that makes people anxious about globalization, what makes them secure, but also what reassures them. And we do this in an international comparison, talking to people in Singapore, in Vancouver and in Berlin, people from different age groups, younger people, middle-aged people and older people, in order to really understand what globalization means to people and which insecurities and new securities it creates. I was happy to be able to invite Tamar Meyer from Middlebury College and Jennifer Hindman from York University. And they are both really preeminent North American scholars on feminist political geography. And while they were here, we've been basically discussing and tossing around with ideas, thinking about questions like what would a new feminist political geography look like in the 21st century? Feminist political geography was always about, taking sides, really looking at those people who are disadvantaged, who are oppressed, who are powerless. And of course, feminists always have looked at women for a long time, right? But since the 60s already, there have been strong black voices like Audre Lorde or James Baldwin who've made the argument, well, maybe in terms of oppression and of being powerless, black men share much more with black women than black women do with white women. And now we have these sort of issues of intersectionality that the subject positions today are so complicated. We are kind of many things likewise. I'm a woman from a certain social class background with a certain types of sexual orientation, with a certain family life and whatsoever. And to really take all these different things into account and then think what a feminist political geography then looks like and what the spaces are is complicated. And we found no answers yet, but we keep on looking.